Hey there, gonna continue the build on the greenhouse. Hopefully you guys saw the last video. We got it all laid out, got the ground posts in. Time to start building the hoops. This is what we need. We'll get started. All right, so I got all the stuff laid out in the driveway, and after building the last two Farmer's Friend tunnels, one thing that I found really helpful was to build the hoops, for me here, is in the driveway for a couple reasons. One is it's fairly flat, and that way you can get the bows nice and straight. The other thing is when you're putting in the tech screws, hopefully you guys know what these are. These are like metal screws that you don't have to drill, you just screw right in. Use these a lot in building tunnels for sure. When you're putting the tech screws in, it's really nice to have the hoops against the driveway, because then you can really push down on it pretty hard. It makes getting the screws in a lot easier. I'll always use little containers like this, like whatever you can find, just to hold your screws. You're not like fumbling around with bags and then you kick the bag over and you spill everything. This is really easy to work in. Use a yogurt container, a bucket, like whatever, works great. I also really like using this impact driver. I really like DeWalt products in general. I'm not sponsored by them, although that would be incredible, DeWalt, if you ever watch this. The drivers are awesome. I used to only have a drill, and I really do like the driver. These are great for zipping in screws and tightening down bolts and stuff like that. So anyways, what's going on here is we have that top section, and then it combines the two side sections. So we're gonna get these hoops together. There's only 7 of them because it's a 24-foot tunnel and they're spaced every 4 feet. So this should go pretty quickly. I also got to get the trusses in on 5 of the hoops, which are in the middle. So gonna try to start working on this and should crank this out pretty quickly, and then we'll move them back to the ground posts and put them in there. So we're up at the top section here, and this is where we're going to connect all the pieces. And I just put the first 2 hoops together, and those are going to be the end ones. And those were super simple. There was no truss going on in there, and those are behind me over here. So these are a little more complicated because they have the trusses going across. And a couple of things to point out here, and I don't mean everything to be a comparison with Farmer's Friend tunnels, but just because I built 2 of those recently, I'm kind of comparing them just automatically. And one thing that's different here is the instructions tell you to put 2 screws in here to attach the pieces, which I think is cool. I didn't have any issues with the 1 screw, but I don't know. It seems like a good idea. Also, these are the brace bands that slide over the hoops, and then the truss is attached to. That's how it connects. And in the Farmer's Friend kit, it tells you to like bend them and then put them back on and then squeeze them back together. But I found now, which I did that for the other kit, is that you can just slide these on and they're in place, then you can just slide them to where you need to. We had a lot of trouble the first time. We weren't pulling them straight and they were getting twisted and it was hard to get the bolts through. So I think that'll probably take care of a lot of that frustration, and also it's a lot faster. So I'm really excited about that. So anyways, I'm gonna get going on this, screw these together, get the trusses in, and hopefully it won't take too long. It seems to be, a pretty small job. I only got 5 more hoops to do, so should be good. Got the hoops back here. Let's get them up. Well, that went pretty smoothly. Got the hoops in, then we got them attached here. And the way that works here is there's just a bolt and a nut, and it goes through the ground post, through the hoop, and then out the other side, and then you just tighten it down. One thing I found that some of the holes don't line up perfectly, as of course, like when you're banging it in, they're gonna twist a little bit. So I just used a big pipe wrench towards the bottom, so if it scuffed it up a little bit, it's okay, because that's where the baseboard is gonna be. So once you get the hoop in, you can sort of twist it just enough to get the holes to line up, and then again, use the impact to zip it in, and just make sure that the heads get pulled in all the way, that way they're flush on the outside. But yeah, went pretty smoothly. Again, there's only 7 hoops on this tunnel, so went pretty well. And this right here is a band clamp that's going to be for the wind bracing, so I made sure I got that on before we slipped in. But should be good. Time to work on the center purlin. It's just 2 pieces of pipe that go together, and then got attached up at the top. Got the center purlin installed. Went together really, really easily because it's a 24-foot tunnel. The pipes are 12 feet and one was wedged, so they go together in the middle and then they bolt through the top. One thing I really like about this design versus how the Farmer's Friend one is that the holes are pre-drilled, and you just you put a bolt through the top and then tighten it up with a nut on the bottom. With the Farmer's Friend kit, there are these awkward like hangers, and then you have to, while you're up there, you have to measure and make sure they're spaced out properly. But this one, I know they're spaced out properly because the holes came pre-drilled. So I really like that. I think it's cool, and went together really quick. Again, it's a short tunnel. Also, I tightened up the trusses. In the instructions, it says to just put them on loosely, and then when you get them in place, tighten them down. So tighten them down. Gene's working on the wind braces, which attach the last 2 hoops. So let me show you what that looks like. All right, well, things are cruising along nicely. got these wind braces on. These attached diagonally to the last 2 hoops on both sides, so 4 of them all together, and they just bolt on. Super easy. Adds a lot of rigidity. I have these on the Farmer's Friend kits too, and they make a big difference. Really happy with these on. I just feel like they really snugged the whole thing up quite a bit. Things are coming along really nicely. We're just moving through the process and about to put the baseboards on. And I'm just really excited to have a nursery. I've never had that before. You guys know I was starting seeds in my garage and putting them into like this mini greenhouse in sort of a very makeshift kind of way, and I'm really excited to have a proper setup and growing all my seedlings in here. And as you guys are thinking about your seedlings this year and looking for places to get seeds, I want to talk about today's show sponsor, which is Osborne Quality Seeds. I've mentioned them before. They're a fantastic company. They offer really awesome seeds, and they help you get seeds that grow in your context, and they really want to make sure that their growers are successful. So I highly recommend that you go check out Osborne Quality Seeds. I'll leave a link down below for their stuff, and I want to thank them for sponsoring this channel. Now, we're going to be working on the baseboards, and so it's because it's a 24-foot tunnel. I keep saying this, I don't know why, but we have 12-foot pieces of wood, so we're going to do 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. We have 2x8s for the top and 2x10s for the bottom, just because the bottom is so much lower. We figured give it a little bit of help there. So we're going to work on that now, get them in place, and then attach them to the baseboards. Kind of running out of time today, but we got 1 baseboard done, and pretty simple. I got some pipe straps that came with the kit that go around. It only called for 1 strap per ground post, but they sent us a whole bunch extra, so we put in 2, why not? And then there's a Tech screw that goes in there, holds it all together. And on the end, we use a bolt that just goes through, and overall, like, it's really solid, it's feeling good. And the joint here in the middle where the 2 boards come together, we just use a strap and screwed it on either side, and it seems to be holding pretty well. So overall, this is installed really nicely, and just keep cruising along. Really happy with the progress so far. It's been enjoyable, and we only got about a half a day of work in today just because it was raining this morning, but really happy with the progress. And so far, I've enjoyed this kit a lot, and I think it's also because this is the 3rd tunnel I've built in the last month or 2. So just building tunnels in general, that experience helps you with any real kit. But there's some things that I've been comparing this with the Farmer's Friend just because that's, what I have and what I built recently. Some of the little things, like I mentioned earlier, the purlins are really nice with the spacings all drilled out, and just the way it attached, I like that a lot better. But overall, I mean, it's just going very smoothly. I've really enjoyed the process so far, and I'll keep you guys updated on as this goes along and show you how this works out. But really happy to have the nursery underway, and hopefully we'll get this going. I think a lot of the time is going to be put into the end walls, getting the door, getting the fans and louvers and all that other stuff, all the little stuff. I think it's going to take a long time, but the bulk of it is up. At least we can sort of visualize it now more than before and see how things are going to work here, and really excited. So I'll keep plugging away, keep letting you guys know how things are going. Again, big thanks to today's show sponsor, Osborne Seeds. Go check them out, links down below. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you in the next one.